Jessica. That's Jessica, our social media maven, our Periscope holder.
Hi.
You guys want to introduce yourselves to Jessica in the Periscope world?
I'm Allison from Dirty Ghosts.
What do you do in the band?
I sing and play guitar.
And
I'm Erin. I play bass and sometimes do backups.
she's also one hell of a guitar player, but you wouldn't know that from the Dirty Ghost records because she doesn't play, but also one hell of a guitar player. And in fact, I was wondering the other night, oué, as the French would say, oué the synth. Where don't you have synths on your record? And where the hell were they the other night? I saw Dirty Ghosts at Passenger Bar on Wednesday.
Yes.
So, you know, do you usually have keyboards with you live? No, because I've never seen you live before this week.
We don't.
Really?
Yeah, we don't. It would be nice to have them eventually, but I think just because it's really easy to tour as a three-piece, the only way that we've been able to figure out how to get synths in is to have backing tracks going, but like we're really trying to stay away from that.
Stay away from that?
Yeah. We actually did that one time, like when we first started the band, and it seems too hard.
Yeah.
You know, so we just kind of want to.
Yeah.
We'll see, but I hope eventually we can expand the band and then have someone play keyboards.
So you've never done even one show with keyboards?
We actually did start as a four-piece really early
Oh,
on.
right, okay.
And we had a little bit, but we just wound up just paring it down to a three-piece. That's kind of just what happened, and then we just stayed that way. So, yeah.
So I without getting too personal, I've known these two women for a little while. They've been in other great bands over the years. They were Canadian once, and now I don't know what the hell they consider themselves. But it's like I consider myself a Clevelander until I die. But so why don't we just do a quick history of your previous bands, Erin?
My band.
Maybe you can hold that so I don't have to lean in your face.
Before this band, I started doing three bands for a while. Dirty Ghosts and a band called Top 10 and a band called Guitar Magazine. Guitarists in those two bands. And rewinding a bit, there's probably been many bands, but
yeah,
first band I played bass in was called Deadly Weapons, which was like early 2000s. And the first band I was in San Francisco was AC/DC. I was Malcolm.
She was an AC/DC, pretty good.
Yeah, that was my first.
Pretty good.
Yeah, best band, only band that matters.
And your recent or distant past?
My
bands? You'll have to grab it from her.
I was the guitar player in a band before this band called Parchment Farm, and then before that was Team Crud Combo, which is a punk band based in Toronto. Yeah.
My old band played with Team Crud Combo, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Hell of a lot of fun.
What band are you in, Eric?
I'd really rather not talk about that. Green Day fan number one, Jessica. She's showing me funny pictures of her and Billy that she has saved. Anyway, so I was in New Bomb Turks, just to answer your question.
Still am.
The best.
Still am. Yeah, well, thanks. Still am. And when we would tour up in Toronto, this diminutive fan, excitable fan, came up to us, and we needed a place to stay, and her parents were kind enough to let us stay there, patient enough. Turns out we were, I guess, one of the nicer, more cordial
best
bands
guests.
to stay there. So, okay, we were okay guests. We go, oh my God, you should have seen this girl's bathroom off of her bedroom. It was like white and red little tiles, the whole thing. That was the bathroom, right?
That was
and
the
then
bathroom.
her bedroom had tons of dwarves' pictures up on it, so we knew she was a kindred spirit. And then, you know, we were nice and didn't want to ruin her future prospects of having other bands crash at her house. So who were some of the, we were obviously super nice and awesome, but who are some of the, are there any good horror stories you can tell of other bands that?
Yeah, definitely. There was one tour, or there was one time where two tours of Friends kind of like crossed over at the same time, which was the Spaceshits, which is now King Kong Barbecue and some other guys, and Anti-Flag, who my best friend was playing in at the time. And those bands did not mix well at all.
No. We played with Anti-Flag once and we did not mix well.
Yeah, so both bands stayed at my parents' house. I barely remember this happening.
At the same time?
At the same time.
Ooh.
It was rough.
Mark Sultan with the Anti-Flag guys. Anyway.
So all I remember about this story was that there was definitely some like very loud partying late at night. Maybe my parents were out of town. That would probably make more sense. Keeping the Anti-Flag guys up very late at night, the Spaceships guys, some barfing that I think ensued.
Not anti-barfing, just
Classic.
barfing.
Just barfing was not me.
Right.
And I think that point of story is I think the anti-flag guys were like trying to sleep, and the spaceships guys were so loud. They might have also been tripping on acid too. I'm
Well,
pretty sure.
Yeah.
Can I say tripping on acid on camera?
You just did.
Okay. And
We're live.
I don't think there's any FCC rules with this. I don't know.
And anyway, so I remember like maybe it's 7 o'clock in the morning. That anti-flag guys like got up and they like walked into the room where all the spaceships guys were passed out and screamed at the top of their lungs.
Okay, that's kind of funny.
I don't know what they said, but like basically just yeah, it was bad. It was a bad scene.
Yeah, I remember maybe Kim of the Muffs was saying like how we played with anti-flag once in like West Virginia maybe or something, and they were just a little pretentious or whatever, but you know, whatever. And then they you know, years later they got like so much bigger or whatever. And I remember Kim from the Muffs saying that like they played one of these Warped Tours and she's like, you know, anti-flags on stage yelling all this shit about anti-government and all this stuff. And they went out to their like, you know, $10,000 a week tour bus and like with their brand new promotional vans, you know, it's shoes on. You know? It's kind of funny. But anyway, nothing against you guys, anti-flag. I hope you're doing well out there. I'm kidding. There's a lot against you. Anyway, so how did you end up? I mean, obviously, I didn't even know much about Dirty Ghosts. That's why. I mean, I knew you guys were a band, but I didn't know when you started and all that stuff. When did you first go to San Francisco?
I moved there I moved there in the summer of 2000. And Allison moved there a few months later, 4 or 6 months later, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, I just finished school and it was like I had a U.S. work visa, so I just...
And I know I asked you this before, but on camera, like, I mean, are you happy about living out? You obviously like
I love
living
it.
out there, yeah. Because you had a stint in Nashville, if I remember correctly. Can you tell us the 2 seconds of being in Nashville?
Yeah, well, my
That hot music town.
Music City.
Yeah.
My ex-boyfriend lived there. We dated for a long time, long distance, about 3 years. So it was kind of like, okay, well, are we going to continue dating long distance, or is someone going to move? So by the time I got there, I wasn't really excited about living there, but I did like the city a lot. But it's just a different, more used to a city where you can, you don't need a car and you can get everywhere. Like it's kind of how all the cities are looking like that. So I didn't feel, and I don't have a car. So yeah, I don't know. I like going there. I like Nashville. I like the people. But
Do you think it does have you read shit all the time, like Detroit's back, or this town, or New York's dying, or whatever. Do you think Nashville is kind of like, is a good place to try to start a band?
probably now more than there's a lot of people moving there. It's pretty like it felt like it was kind of like a hip place of the South at the time when I was there. But I also moved there like in the summer when it was like 100 degrees every day, and it was like hot too.
Yeah.
And it was just like this is not working. So.
That's what I think about towns like that too. It's just kind of like, it's like Austin, you know, it's a cool town and everything, but it's like this oasis in the middle of this huge fucking area.
Yeah.
And not that every person outside of Austin is a complete asshole, but I mean, it's Texas, you know, or Nashville. It's like you gotta go so far just into another town or whatever. And you get used to the city life thing, you know.
Yeah.
So, but you don't live in, I probably asked this the other night, but you don't live in Oakland, right? You're not living in Oakland? Would you want to live in Oakland?
Nah.
Good answer. Is it still like? Is it like the Jersey of San Francisco? Is that what Oakland is?
I mean, I guess I don't know. I haven't lived here, so I can't.
Oh, you can't
I
pinpoint the metaphors.
But yeah, I mean, yes, I guess. But I've always lived in San Francisco, and I like living there. And Oakland's really nice too, and you definitely have more space.
Yeah.
But I think I feel very settled in San Francisco, and I can't really imagine. Like,
Yeah, were you?
anywhere else.
I think it was your answer in the online interview we did, where you said if you miss back home at all in Canada, you go back for like 2 days. It's like, oh right, you know, it's so fucking cold.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And I mean, there's always going to be a part of me that just really would love to move back to Toronto. But oh my God, I've been out of cold weather for so long.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it again. But
Yeah.
I need to go back to Toronto constantly. I love it. It's the best city.
All right, hold on one sec. You guys need this, right? You sure?
Yeah.
She's doing keep rolling like we're film. It's like Scorsese. We're gonna pay for this film. All right, okay. And so, are you planning on? I again asked you this the other night, but are you planning on playing more guitar with anyone going forward?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do like a project in the new year with friends. Probably on a low key type deal. But yeah, I like my guitar, but I'm pretty busy in this band and also kind of lazy.
Yeah.
Therefore,
You are not lazy. I don't consider you a lazy person.
I've done a lot of generating and like starting up of bands, which right now really do not.
It takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, I
man.
just don't feel like trying. I'm already just kind of busy, but.
The shop. Do you want to the guitar stuff? Do you want to
Oh yeah.
hype any of that at all?
Well, I have a guitar business. I sell vintage guitars and vintage reissue guitars. And yeah, it's online.
Yeah.
It's a shop online. And yeah, I worked for a dealer for like 6 years, and I've always been kind of buying guitars. So yeah, it's just it's cool. If you want to buy or sell a guitar, call me.
What's it called? You don't think you gave the name?
Oh, the name is my last name, Victor, my guitars.
Right, I knew it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But you still make those cool calendars?
No, that was my old job.
Oh, that's right. That was the old
Actually, she
place.
has my old job now, but they don't do calendars.
You have the old job?
I
What
do.
is with you two? It's like it's juggling back and forth.
Yeah.
So do you like the new job?
Oh yeah, no, it's great. I've actually been there for about 6 years.
Oh, okay.
So-
See, it's been a while. We've been.
It's been
Clearly.
a while,
Pretty
yeah,
much,
yeah.
yeah.
There was a moment there where Aaron and I were working together
About
at
2
this
years.
job.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Was it?
Yeah, that was a good time.
Didn't turn into fights or anything
No.
like that.
Never. Just turned into like more hanging out, more gossiping, more just being around each
Eating.
other, eating.
Yeah.
And what about the songwriting? Because you said that you don't really want to try to not have to have synthesizers and samplers or whatever the hell on stage. So, but when practice, where do you guys practice, and do you use, or is that all just when you're recording?
Yeah, basically when we were making the record, I sort of felt like, the thing that we all decided was that we weren't going to make a record based on what the live band was going to be like, and we'd worry about the live thing after. Because our live band has always been this kind of changing thing that's never been totally set in stone. We've had a lot of different drummers and members kind of. Aaron and I have been the only two consistent things over the years, so we just wanted to make a record with like as much as we could, and because a lot of it was like home-based recording for when we were writing. So, and there's synthesizers.
Are you doing like a laptop, or is it
A lot of it was done on a laptop, and then we went into the studio and kind of recreated everything.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of like synthesizers and stuff like that, so I like to add that kind of stuff when I can. And then with the live band, we sort of felt like, if we can make it work, we will, and if we can't, we can't. Right now, we can't. But at some point, I think we will.
Right.
So that's the idea.
Right.
So we just sort of have to figure out how to play the songs with those things missing, or sometimes our drummer will like overcompensate for the things that aren't there, or
He's a good
guitar.
drummer. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, we try to like fill the holes as much as we can, at least
Right.
for now.
It was a great show the other night. How many, you guys want to rattle off any more shows you have left for this weekend?
We're playing tonight at Baby's All Right.
That's a good show.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That's the Panache Showcase. And then we're playing tomorrow 2 shows. One is at South Street Seaport.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I just saw that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a daytime show. I think that's a Streetport Music Festival party.
Outside, I think.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that'll be fun. I think we go on it at 4:15. And then tomorrow night is our last show, and it's a bird dog party at Pianos, and I believe we play at 10.
I gotta tell this story. It's very rock and roll. I'm at the gym, and this was, I don't know when, you can probably tell me the year, but I'm stretching and so forth, and it's around 7:30 in the morning, and this is when I lived over in Cobble Hill, which makes this even less of a rock and roll story, but a very fancy neighborhood in Brooklyn. And I'm stretching, and there's a woman stretching next to me, and I'm thinking, this cannot be, because it had been a few years, and I'm like, I stood up, I think we both did one of those, like, how's Eric? Like, what the hell are you doing at some gym in Brooklyn? To which you replied,
I was working out.
yeah.
No, I was.
You're like, I'm lost. Do you know where to get to?
No, I was with a guy who lived in Cobble Hill, and I used his gym.
Yeah.
So I was there one morning, and yeah, I remember I was like.
But how long were you living there?
I was never living
Oh, you were
there.
just like crashing.
I was. We dated for like 2 years. So we got married eventually. But
Right, and then yes.
when he lived in New York, we would kind of go back and forth.
Right.
And he lived like right down the street, so.
It was just extremely weird. Maybe not interesting to you Periscope people, but pretty fucking funny.
weird.
It was
Yeah.
at least 6 years or something.
Yes,
like
and that was the first time I saw you since like, back in the parents' house days.
Yeah.
And I was kind of just like,
Well, because
Whoa.
I was in my steroid phase, I was huge, enormous, like really big arms, and I was bench pressing at 300-400 pounds.
me too. My arms were enormous.
I wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't know. She didn't look anything like it.
Yeah, no, my neck was out of control at the time.
It was all one thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, what kind of man dates a woman that big and strong?
I'm not sure. I'd have to ask him.
Let's not. We're not going to ask him.
No.
Don't worry. He's not playing CMJ in any capacity. is he?
No, I don't think so.
No. Anyway. Any last things you want to say? Because as she's informed us, it being the internet, people drop off Periscope after about 5 minutes. So, except for Joe Jonas, who we interviewed this afternoon. which
Plus
was
my
weird.
battery's dying.
Plus your battery's dying. Okay, any last words, Aaron?
Hey now, whoa, stop the clock. Howard Stern, Baba Booey. That's it for me.
Wow, pretty good. She's got
Bowie,
Howard's.
Howard Stern's penis.
She's got Howard Stern stories for you. All right, thanks, guys. Dirty Ghosts. Listen to them, go see them, and be surprised by their live show. I would say it's a little more pummeling than the records, even, I think. So, thanks, Periscope.
Bye.
Dirty Ghosts.
Thank
Bye.
you.